You are listening to the Park Flyer Podcast, where we discuss our RC adventures.
Welcome to the Park Flyer Podcast, where we discuss the ups and downs of the new RC Flyer. Join your hosts, Michael and Jay, as they take flight at the park. Now on with the show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Park Flyer Podcast. I'm Michael from Arizona, and with me always are my good friends.
Jay, here from You Gotta Fly High if you're gonna man, this tagline's just sucking.
It's tough. Anyway, all right, Jay's here, and
Shannon G and Mesa AZ.
There you
because
go.
they're letting Shannon go first. He keeps getting left out. My gosh. Anyway, we're welcome to the podcast. Jay kind of throws everything up there. He practiced. He was so ready for it. Anyway, welcome to this week's episode. We appreciate you joining us. If you have not already, send us a thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're trying to get the videos back out there and change systems, so there's a little bit of a rough patch, but we'll try to get those back out as quick as possible. Other than that, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube listeners page, Shannon runs that, so reach out to Shannon and give him a heads up, or any questions or comments, you can touch base with us at parkflyerpodcast@gmail.com. So all of the bills paid. Let's go to Shannon. This last week was JMF, and we had some pretty exciting news from there.
Yeah, so sadly we didn't get to go, but I was definitely it's just life.
Work got in the way.
But definitely got some good updates from people that were there, and
sure.
Our good friend Barrett Hawkhouse, he had the C-124 Globemaster that he scratch built, and I did the power system for him, and it flew beautifully.
Perfect.
So they did the maiden up there, and there was some beautiful video on YouTube from another Brent Hecht, I think has it. I think Barrett has it too on there, but just looks so nice in the air. It just you couldn't tell it wasn't real. I mean, that's how nice it was. Yeah. So hats off to Barrett, and wish I could have been there for the big maiden, but it was just cool that it was a success. Some of the other highlights from the weekend was so with Brent Hecht, also his son Bentley. Yeah, I think he's been on the show, or I know Bent's been around with us before. Bentley took a Sterling models. They make like the stick and tissue, kind of like Gillows planes. It was the Sukhoi Su-26, little aerobatic plane. Took one of those, it was a free flight one, and turned it into RC from scratch. Out of the box, convert to RC, and painted it, detailed it. I mean, the thing looks beautiful, and flew it. It flies amazing. So I just love seeing the kids getting so excited with building and just making these really cool things. So and another really cool project that we saw. So Marty Snell, he's kind of a legend in the RC hobby. He's designed a lot of the early jets, ducted fan into turbines into electric. He designed a scratch-built S3 Viking. It used to be the Sub Hunter twin engine.
Yeah.
And he designed it from scratch. This one he made, it runs on two 110 millimeter jet fans, which are huge.
Wow.
But what's cool is, just like a real modern turbofan, he's actually running it with bypass. So where it comes through the thing and it comes out the side and then back out the side. However, you're the expert on that, not me, but
I am actually.
Yes, you are. So you're the sensei. But it's functional, and again, it actually improved performance. But he had the folding flaps. Not folding flaps, the folding wings. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen S3 Viking, they kind of fold up over top, like kind of crisscross. The spoilerons instead of ailerons, fully functioning full power flaps, custom landing gear, beautiful aircraft, just absolutely beautiful. So love to see the old guys jumping into the new stuff too. And the other cool success story was last year, and I shared this with us when I was there. There was a scratch built Tu-22 Blinder, an old Russian twin engine jet bomber, had the two engines in the back of the tail, kind of weird.
Right.
They tried to fly it last year, didn't quite actually crashed pretty spectacularly. But they put it back together, kind of rebuilt it, redid some things, and it flew around and they landed. It was a little squirrely, I think, but I mean, definitely proved it was a viable design. So really cool to see that. I know they had kind of a rough, just like we did last year. They had kind of a rough storm, blew a lot of stuff around and had to kind of batten down the hatches. But overall, it looked like it was a great weekend. So hopefully we can make it back next year. And,
we'll put it on our calendar.
Get there. So, but just like to, we've been talking about that for so long, and I think it's kind of a cool event for anyone involved in electric to
absolutely
be aware of. So
very
that's
cool.
that's the wrap on JMF, and again, we'll probably be back at it next year.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't seen it or done it, definitely put it on your calendar, and hopefully we can get up there next year and participate. Now that it's a little further out, and I'm changing some schedule stuff around, I can hopefully get some time off to do it. That's what I'm working for, trying to work towards getting more time off.
There you
It
go.
doesn't seem to be working very well for me.
Yeah, so far, yeah. How's that working out there, Mike?
No, it's not. Exactly. So, and then I think we have a swap meet coming up on November 1st.
November 1st, we have it's an auction. So
an
I
auction.
just want to clarify, it's an auction.
Gotcha.
So it's the Arizona Mall Aviators annual fall auction. We've been having it for decades. It's been at different locations, but it's been at the field for the last 20 years probably. And it's November 1st, first Saturday of the month. And, anybody can come out. There's nothing, we get people from all over the valley. We get people from out of state that come out. Just, reminder, it's RC related items only.
Right.
And some people have stretched that. A guy brought out a bunch of computers.
Stories out of that.
Yeah, there's some really weird stuff that came out of there.
I got a couple of barbecue grills that I can put together.
Yeah, there you go. And so we've got that. And one of the cool things is we also have these tables. So if you're selling things that are less than the bottom of the reserve, I think it's $50, then you can get a table and you can sell all your little stuff and pay like $10 for the table. You guys will share one. So there's a lot of great deals we had. If you want to, like myself, I'm kind of, there's a few projects I'd like to get to that I don't own, but I would like to own.
Right.
So I think I'm going to do a little house cleaning and get some of those. Get some
so
items out there.
Run us through real quick how that works. Again, you bring your stuff, donate the stuff.
So here's the thing: you bring your stuff. So I think it's $7. $7 gets you a bidder number, and that's for buying or selling. If you want to do one of the separate tables, they're $10, but that's you'll probably make that back in a couple sales, so it's worth it. Again, all the money just goes to the club. It's not like that. It's just to make our field look nice and be nice and everything. When it comes to the auction stuff, you bring your stuff, you fill out a little card if you're having it in the auction itself. Some details, what's in the plane, what's in it. Try to make it as simple, not too overly. Don't throw a bunch of acronyms out there. Just be, hey, this, the standard things most people know. Yeah, but sometimes our auctioneers don't know everything there is to know about RC, even though they think they do. But they start saying things like, "No, that's not what it says."
Right.
Yeah, that's not what it says. Really. And then you can have a reserve. Whatever you want for reserve, and then when it comes up to the auction, if they don't hit the reserve, we'll say, hey, they give the seller the option if he wants to, waive it or whatever. Sometimes they do. And if you donate items to the auction, there's a 10% buyer's fee, buyer or seller fee, whoever pays. I think seller's fee, actually. It's one or the whoever wants to pay it. 10%, on top of whatever the auction sells for. But if you donate the item to the auction, for the club, then there's no fee for that. It's just whatever it sells for, it sells for. So that's kind of a cool thing because we're keeping the money, the club's keeping the money. So that's cool. But we've been doing it forever. And Matt Ventura, who's been running it for the last probably 10 years, he's hanging up his hat. This will be his last one. So right now, the one after this, because I'm always a part of it. I mean, I help out quite a bit. It'll be probably me and one of our other members, Davis, that'll be running it in the future. So, but
Gotcha.
because it's Matt's got it pretty well turnkey. That
And
anyone
they're highly successful as well, right? You wind up
it's one of our
like a big
best events. Yeah, I remember. So we've done it in November forever, but we had to not do it in November because of COVID. So we did it in January because we skipped to November 2020. We did it in January 2021, and that's when we had to do all of our the COVID protocols, the temperature checks and masks, and oh my gosh. But it was just that that was the first big event that we did with that, and we had a huge turnout because everyone just wanted to get out of the house, and do something.
Right.
But it's always been a good turnout. We're usually we close the field down for about half the day. Usually out of there about by noon, and then back up and running for flying. It's definitely a great bargains. And a lot of fun. You get to see, sometimes there's just people that the only time I see them is at the auction because they'll come from another club or,
right.
I said we have people from out of state that come in just for this auction. So we welcome anybody from across the world that wants to come in for the auction.
And you can sell anything like as small as servos all the way up to larger scale. There's no limit on what size airplane you can sell or what.
Oh
size.
no, not at all. No, it's just so for the auction part. Unless you're, if it's not worth $50, at least
gotcha.
Then we're not going to put it in the auction. That's where those tables are. Let's say you got let's say you got a ton of servos. Get a $10 table, sell your servos and all the stuff that goes, your motors, your batteries, whatever. All kinds of cool stuff pops up on the tables. So, but as long as you're playing, I got rid of some of the UMX micros, but when they're in the box, it's worth $50.
Yeah, sure.
And any other plane, we've had people bring stuff out that's ridiculously. They probably weren't going to sell it for what they wanted. That just happens.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not Barrett Jackson.
Right.
It's not Mikamoto Auctions. It's not Sotheby's. It's a little RC
auction.
Yeah,
that's too funny. So I subscribe to the J's. I put a nice item on there, and everything else comes with it. You take the whole table or no table.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, all or nothing.
The J's. I don't know. How's that work, Jay?
Usually if you have a couple of boxes or smaller boxes, and you just fill it with all the little nitnoid junk stuff that you have, and instead of trying to sell the one little thing. You just put it in there with a bunch of other stuff, and then somebody comes along and says, "Oh, this whole box is, $10 or $20," and you're like, "Yeah, it's all that stuff, but I only need this." And I'm like, "Then you got to take the whole box. Everything in that box goes with that little thing."
Yeah, there you go.
The best one was when it was free. That was actually he had a free pile,
and he didn't want to take the whole thing.
The lady just wanted the one item. It was a typewriter or something, right?
Yeah,
and she wanted one item out of the free. No, it's the whole
pile.
Didn't
want anything else. I just want this thing. Yeah, got to take all.
She just wanted the letter K on the typewriter.
Yeah, pretty much. Jay made her take the whole box.
Wow,
that's hilarious. So yeah, I like Jay's method. Just hey, just put it on there, and if you want the one item, and honestly, I don't know if you've ever been to like an estate auction from an auction house. Have you ever done any of those? They do a lot of that. They'll go through and they'll find a box and they'll put one item that's worth quite a bit of money, and then they'll stick a bunch of little things that are like, I don't need any of this stuff, but it's the whole box. And so you're bidding on the one item that you want, on what you do with the other stuff, but they got to get rid of it. They can't just keep it, so it's like anything else. It's got to go. It's got to go. Yeah, I got a lot of little boxes over here that have a lot of little parts in them, that if I put them all together, I'd have to put something big in there and just say, okay, this is what I want to sell. You get all the other little stuff for free. So, but that's exciting. It's on November 1st out at your club, and if you can get out there, let's definitely get out there. I got to look at my schedule. I think I may have a trip on that day, but I'll try to get out there, and maybe I have some stuff I'll throw out your way and see if I can get rid of it.
Yeah, sure. So, because I usually get a table because I kind of come across stuff over the course of the year. I'm like, I'm gonna bring that to the auction or to the $10 table, and usually
very cool. Very cool. Well, let's see. For me, as far we have to make this announcement, Wings Over Springs. Doug Leroy, one of our friends of the podcast, and he's been on a couple times, and we've been out there to see him. Holly Springs, North Carolina, holds an annual Wings Over Springs. It's on October 4th. It's the largest single-day charity event. It's crazy. They have huge crowds there, and it's great. Everybody participates. Jay and I have gone out there one year. It supports Meg's Smile Foundation, which is their local charity, and Doug does a great job putting that on. It's very organized. They get to do it in the big field. They have a little, kind of a smaller field that they usually fly daily in, but they for this event they get the big field that they hold, like Holly Fest and a bunch of other stuff in. So the city promotes, helps promote it, and they have food trucks, and it's a really great event. And this year, AK Mike has volunteered to kind of go out. He has a father out there that he goes and visits on a regular basis, and it just happens to coordinate. So I think they're going to go out there, and if he can pull it off, he's going to get some interviews and talk a little bit to some of the guys that are out there, give us some details. So we're going to, rely on him and see if we can, get some information, some photos and that kind of thing from Doug. Nice. I know that we had a great time when we were out there. It was an awesome, I think Jay wound up winning an award, so they do give out awards and it's a big deal. It's all day long and yeah, it starts early in the morning too. We were there at, 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning and until it got dark. So it's great fun. If you have to get, if you would like more information on it, you can go to info at HSSRCG, which stands for Holly Springs Skyhawks RC Group.org. So it's info at HSSRCG.org. Or you can just go onto the AMA registration page. They have a registration there, and you can kind of register for the event. But we're looking forward to hearing, what's going on and how that's going to work. So looking forward to Mike's roving reporting. He does a pretty good job at that. So, but yeah, best of luck to those guys. Unfortunately, I'm working again this year. I was trying to get it off, but they slapped a trip right over the top of it, and I was just like, all right, well, I got to go do it. But anyway, we'll try to put that on our schedule for next year too, and see if we can go to there. Anyway, so anything else? Anything from South Carolina? Everybody doing anything over there, Jay?
Not that I can think of, other than I'm doing a quick build. I'll be putting together that Polaris, that orange Polaris. You probably just see it peeking out of that box. But I'll be slapping that together to take up to Holly Springs. So
okay.
Nice.
Okay. Good.
When Mike comes in, I figured I'll throw together that plane and take it up there.
Perfect. We're looking forward to it. Well, speaking of slapping airplanes together and auctions and that kind of thing, I thought this week we could talk a little bit briefly about kind of. I know we've done it in the past where we've talked about picking up used items and items that maybe off of RC groups or at auctions or swapping with someone, swap meets, that kind of thing. And Scott called me the other day, Scott Berryman, and of course I got some of his airplanes here, and he's been super involved in the RC world, and he's got a little Avanti, and he wound up picking up another one because he likes flying it, and had called me and said, hey man, something's wrong, my airplane's not working right. So today I kind of just wanted to touch a little bit about, how to basically troubleshoot some of your, used equipment or new if you're putting it in and something that is not going right. And so I thought we could kind of discuss a little bit about that. So the situation is, in this particular case, he calls me and he says, hey, I got this new jet. I plug it in and all I get is beeps off of the ESC. And so it's just beeping. It doesn't arm, something doesn't seem right. Everything's the way it should be. It's set up exactly like the one that he had before. And he's like, it's not working. So is there a way that you can help me fix that? And of course, I'm not in the room. He's in a whole different state. But over the phone, I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, asking questions. What is it doing here? Have you tried this? Have you done that? And so, first thing that I decided to do, and I did solve the problem, but I kind of want to walk through this to get your guys, input on what you would do in this particular case. But so what I had him do originally, and I was short on time, so I just basically told him, I said, all right, look, what I need you to do is I need you to zero out all your trims, take them down to the lowest point, right? So just bring your throttle switch down, take your throttle trim down to negative, and then go into your radio and take your sub trim and make it, zero as well. And then plug it in, and, maybe there's got to be some sort of a reset on the receiver. Is that thoughts? You guys start that way as well? What would you do?
Yeah, I'd say for 99% of the time that people are having problems with a new model, not necessarily just, this situation, but even with a brand new model, is that, I got a model, and like you said, it's a jet, it's a stunt plane, it's this, and they'll just take, let's see, I have my Avanti from, here's my old model, let me make a new Avanti model based on this one. They'll copy it out on the radio, make another, version of that, so it has everything, all the, things that they want, and then they start to put things in and putting it in and wondering why they're having problems. Because they're using the old model. And like you said, the biggest one, like you said, is the trims and the sub trims. Because people go, okay, I'll zero out the trims, but they forget about the sub trims that were put in there for other things. And they may have stuff whacked out, underneath the layers of of the trims. Is just down here, and people don't think about to look for it. And then they're scratching their heads as to why they can't get surfaces level, why things aren't activating. It's because of the sub trims and stuff underneath it. So, my biggest thing is sometimes it's just better to make a new model than to grab an old model to save you a little bit of time, putting everything together for you, because it just eliminates anything that's hidden that you did or that you trimmed or that something that you did within it that was funky. It works with that model, but it isn't going to work with this model. And that will eliminate, 99% of your problems starting out by going with a new model in the radio than grabbing and copying an old one.
Yeah, that's pretty smart.
The other thing with, especially with the throttle, a lot of times what will happen is, depending upon what radio you're using and what the last person used, you might have to reverse the throttle. And that can cause that problem too.
Yep.
It's a very common thing I've had to deal with. One of my friends, he kind of flip flops. I think he uses, JR, not Spectrum or, but JR, and they use different thing, or was set up for a Fataba, and you just got to double check that, which way it's going with that. And that's not always the case, but that just seems to be the one. Again, just, do that initial calibration where you run the throttle stick all the way up, beep once, pull it down, unplug it, plug it back in. It should work. Usually it does that. So, my friend, he calls me up and says, hey, I can't get this. I go, this is like the third time we've done this. Did you calibrate it? Did you reverse it? And he's like, oh yeah, okay, now I remember. Yeah. So, and then a couple weeks ago, he texted me, hey, I remembered.
Yay! That's funny. Yeah. All right, so all great points, and right up the alley that I basically told him. I said, okay, this is what you need to do. So anyway, hung up with him. Do my thing, working, and then come back. I have some time, and kind of, gave him a call. Hey, how did it go? He said, still not working. I basically tried the reverse. That didn't work. He said I lowered all my trims down, and I plugged it in, and it went through the controls. Now all the controls work, but it just beeps. So now I'm scratching my head because I'm like, wait, all your control surfaces work now? And he goes, yes, they all work correctly. But the throttle just continues to beep. So I said, okay, well, I need to hear what it sounds like. And so sure enough, I heard it. It initializes, all the control surfaces work. When he goes to push the throttle forward or pull it back, doesn't work. And so
you said that it was that the control surfaces move, so it's not just a regular escape. It does it have a gyro?
It's a AS. It does. It's an AS3X,
Okay.
Spectrum AS3X ESC. There, we don't want to get in trouble. But yeah, so it's just a regular 8630 or whatever it is that they have, and so now we're to the point where everything's plugged in. It initializes, the control surfaces work. The airplane EDF doesn't arm. It just beeps.
Yeah,
so
sounds like the gyro hasn't been set up properly. So
the gyro's working. Gyro's working. The gyro's working. Well, it works perfect.
Sometimes the people either the gyro's not level, because when it goes through its sequence, it's not sitting in it's not sitting in the plane level, and it's kind of jacked up, or
all that,
something like that.
Yeah, all that was correct.
Or a switch wasn't assigned to turn it on and off, and so it's in an off state, and therefore the throttle won't work.
So I asked him, this particular one has reverse. So that was the first question I asked him. I said, "Did you plug in your reverse?" He's like, "No," and I go, maybe the reverse is on, right? Which would mean that the ESC is looking at it as backwards. So it's that switch, whenever they unplugged it the last time, if he didn't plug it back in, it's not recognizing it. So I told him, I said, okay, I just have a few minutes. Do this thing again, plug in the reverse, make sure everything is great, and then, lower all your trims again. Now, I will tell you, when you're doing all this, Jay can testify to this, you need to hold on to your airplane when you plug it in. Because if it is opposite, Shannon probably guarantee this too, that if you're sitting on your table and you plug it in and that thing is going to ramp up to full throttle, it's going to be zipping off your bench here, and you're going to be buying a new airframe. So hold on to the model, which is what I told them. Be safe. Hold on. Plug it in. Hold on to that thing when it initializes and see what happens. And then I said, okay, I'll call you back later. And so I had another, trip I had to go to. So all of that, called him up. Now I'm kind of got a little bit more time because I was calling him between, when I was changing venues there. But, I eventually got to the point where I had some time, and he was at home, and I said, okay, let me go over this with you. And so anyway, he plugged it all in. Everything seemed to work. It just would beep. So quickly, what would you do in this case? Just kind of, I'm going to tell you what I did and how the thing got resolved. But Jay, what would you do? You're kind of stuck. The reverse was plugged in, didn't work. Any other suggestions? I'll take that as a no.
No. Well,
I'm kind of stumped too.
Yeah, exactly. And so this is pretty common, right? Because what was the solution that he said? He goes, I'll just grab a new receiver. It's something's not working, and I don't know what it is. All right. So I said, well, hold on a second. Let's time out. You have a spare channel. It's channel 8. Let's go ahead and unplug the throttle from channel 1 and plug it into channel 8. Then go into your settings and make that your throttle. And let's see if it works. And it worked. So now I have basically figured out that there is something wrong with the channel 1, the throttle channel.
Probably.
So I asked him, I said, look in there, take your flashlight or a light, look down in there and see if something happened. And he was kind of messing around and said, oh, well, there was a bent pin. And the pin got straightened, and it broke the solder joint. So he's plugging it in, and it's not getting the, basically it's not getting the signal, so it wouldn't arm. So now he has, the airplane that's working. Everything works great. Next thing you do is take it out and maiden it. And I said, well, that works. So, good job. So I got a panic call last night. Do you remember what's on channel 8? What's on channel 8? Because it's empty. The gyro.
Oh, yep.
The gyro's on channel 8, and he just plugged the Now, I wasn't thinking about this, right? So this is the kind of the caveat to the whole thing. You can do this, but he went and maidened it with the gyro channel on the throttle channel. So when he went to full throttle, what do you think the gyro did?
The gyro goes full and it doesn't move.
It goes to max gain.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So it was an exciting maiden flight and I'm not laughing at him. I'm just laughing at the fact that, he was able to get it on the ground. He did save it. He just was like, hey, man, something's not right. And so when he called me back in a panic going, hey, there is something really whacked out with this gyro. It just went crazy on me at full throttle. And I was like, oh, yeah, because it's on the channel, right? So anyway, I told him, I said, well, if that's the case, maybe what we should do is swap the reverse channel, which is actually channel 7, and put it on 8. So when you go into reverse, if it maxes out the gyro, it doesn't really matter because it's on the ground at that point. But yeah, he said it was a pretty exciting flight. He was not expecting it to get all, jittery and start pitching around, and it was at max gain, and he was just like, oh my gosh. He said, luckily there was a little wind, so it didn't come apart. But yeah, that was, he just flew it once and then came back and said, I don't know what we did, but it flew, but it didn't fly the way I was expecting it to. So anyway, but we did get it fixed. So yeah, that's, that was a great exercise for you guys. I enjoyed hearing what you guys would do versus my thought process. It's kind of like we're all on the same way, all on the same.
Just checking the cables and stuff. I would have gone through that too, but I think I assumed that was done already, but apparently it wasn't.
Well, it was all plugged in. It's one of those things. The solder joints, cold solder joints can come back, and it may just be from you plugging it in. It may have worked the first time, and then you plug it back in, or, you move it around or do something. I don't know if he actually checked it all before, other than just plugging it all in. A lot of times if the person says, yeah, it was flying 2 seconds ago, I've seen it, where they pull everything out and then you plug everything in and it's not working and you just saw it fly and you're like, what the heck? Something's not right here. And it could just be the fact that he pulled the pin and it was stuck in there and it broke the solder joint and now you're, kind of screwed. So anyway, that is kind of where my conversation over the last couple of days has been with Scott, and I thought it was a great topic for us to kind of cover. That especially with the auction coming up, and you're starting to buy new stuff or old stuff, you got to go through and make sure it all works. But great to hear how you guys would have solved the problem. I think all of us kind of were in the same boat. But so I appreciate that. And unfortunately, we're out of time.
That's fun.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're out of time. We'll have to do this again, though, because I kind of like this format where it's like, I have the solution, or maybe you guys did something. Maybe next time, Shannon can come up with something and kind of give us the chance to kind of solve it. But it does work kind of well there. But anyway, all right. So we come back in 2 weeks. We're going to hear a little bit about the Holly Springs RC Wings Over Springs RC group, and the auction. I don't actually. Yeah, it might be after the auction. I think this episode is on the 30th. So today's the 30th. Today's not the 30th.
But no, it's November 1st, not October. We still got a month.
Oh, still got a month.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I can get some time off and go there. I was thinking it was this weekend, but this coming weekend is or on the 4th of October is the Holly Springs.
Yeah. And one last plug: Greg Stone for AMA president.
Oh, there you go. Yep, Greg is running. I did see that we got an email from our club that basically he, was sending it out. So we had him on the podcast last week, and it was great. Yep. Or last time, not last week, but last time. And so reach out and make sure you vote. And cool. Well, that's all I have for this week. I'm Michael from Arizona.
I'm Jay, still working on this tagline.
I even like that one better.
Shannon G sticking with in Mesa AZ.
Which is great. I like that one. Still working on his tagline. Sounds pretty good. Anyway, all right. Well, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
That's right.
You have been listening to the Park Flyer Podcast. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to your next visit. Please give our show a star rating and review, and feel free to email us your questions, topics, or suggestions to parkflyerpodcast@gmail.com.